Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial, and today we're continuing our trip along the Gulf Coast, and we are now in Galveston at the Galveston Naval Museum, located at Seawolf Park on Pelican Island. Behind me is the submarine USS Cavalla. She's one of the American World War II fleet-type submarines. This one is a Gato class. And she is historically significant because she is the last submarine anywhere in the world that has sunk an enemy carrier. There were more recent submarines that have sunk ships, but none of them are preserved. This is the only preserved submarine that has sunk an enemy aircraft carrier. She sank the Pearl Harbor veteran aircraft carrier Shokaku, arguably the best aircraft carrier in the world. And she did it firing a spread of torpedoes from this forward torpedo room here, June 19th of 1944. During World War II, Cavalla would have had 6 torpedo tubes in the forward torpedo room, but tubes 1 and 2 were later removed. The ship has been significantly upgraded since her World War II service, like many of the museum's submarines. And during the subsequent years, she received upgrades to stay in service for a couple of decades after World War II, eventually as a training boat, before she was finally brought here to Galveston to be turned into a museum. When you come and visit Cavalla, you'll be seeing a World War II era ship with more modern features grafted on, similar to your tours of Battleship New Jersey, where you're on a World War II era ship with 80s and 90s technology predominating throughout. However, original systems, like the weapons here, date all the way back to World War II. So the torpedoes that took down Shokaku may well have come from one of these tubes. So on June 19th, 1944, the Battle of the Philippine Sea is going on. American submarines like Cavalla were critical in initially detecting the Japanese fleet, and then some were able to stalk the Japanese carriers. Cavalla caught Shokaku in the middle of her task force, surrounded by anti-submarine escorts, while she was recovering aircraft, which meant she was sailing in a straight line. Cavalla fired all 6 tubes in the forward torpedo room, and 3 of those 6 torpedoes hit Shokaku. As the aircraft carrier was going down, the destroyers, the Japanese destroyers, which had failed in their initial mission of protecting her, were looking for revenge. Over the next several hours, the Japanese destroyers dropped 136 depth charges on the submarine, but Cavalla was able to survive and make it back to the United States, where she earned a Presidential Unit Citation. As a further honor, Cavalla was there in Tokyo Bay when Japan surrendered on September 2nd, 1945. Some of the new Virginia-class submarines under construction are named after famous World War II boats like USS Barb. Do you think Cavalla should have her name carried over into a modern submarine? Let us know in the comments section down below. And what are some other famous World War II submarines whose names you think should be carried on into the future? Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and individuals like yourselves. If you would like to support the Galveston Naval Museum, we've left some links in the description below. Check them out. They're looking for volunteers and donors always so that they can continue the restoration of these historically significant vessels. You can support Battleship New Jersey by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thanks for watching.